What a win for you, Manchester City fans. I mean, that was a really good performance in the sense that 3 points, 3 goals, beating your near rivals in Manchester United. I think you guys can go away from that game with a smile on your face. Today's video will be sort of analysing the game, looking at what was good, maybe what needs improving. But yeah, if you are a City fan, you want to see a rival fan, I'm an Arsenal fan, talk about your team in both a positive, but also another way in terms of constructive criticism across this season, then please do hit the like and subscribe. But I think where we need to start is about the lineup, because I saw the lineup come out and I think many City fans were actually quite happy with the lineup for once. I think this season there's been this sort of feeling amongst the City fans that something quite isn't right in terms of the lineup, except from the Wolves game. And I think today Pep Guardiola made the correct decisions in terms of starting players who wouldn't be impacted by the emotional sort of game that Manchester United would want to play. It's a derby. If you throw too many new players into that sort of game, it's tough. Everyone's trying to impress. Everyone's trying to do it overdo things. But I feel as though the guys that were starting, your Bernardo Silva's, very strong performance from him off the right, doing a very, very good job in terms of keeping the ball, containing the ball, allowing Manchester City to play, especially in that first half. I think it was very, very effective. You're looking at other guys in there. Rodri, very strong. I know the first 15-ish minutes, he wasn't quite good. He was giving the ball away, but he grew into the game as we know he did. You're looking at the other players in there. O'Reilly, somebody who's gone through the Manchester City system, understands what these games means and composure, and played across last season and was very impressive. He started. He was very good as well in most scenarios. Doku knows what to do. You know, the players that started, Foden as well, I can't forget. Players that started, they made sense in the sense that they understand what these games mean and they weren't going to be swept up by the emotional side of things. But I think where I want to start is talk about the performances of a new signing in Gianluigi Donnarumma. I'm even saying his name wrong, but that performance was anywhere far from being wrong. I mean, he was really, really good. You saw what Manchester United were trying to do. They were trying to press him high. They used him as a trigger for them press, whether it's Sesko going, Bruno Fernandes, Diallo. Look, they really wanted to go in on him and try and make it uncomfortable. But the way that Donnarumma was on the ball, on his feet, was very good. We know he's a phenomenal shot stopper, and I'll get onto that in a minute. But on the ball, teams want to exploit him. But today, he looked assured, he looked confident, he looked ready. He could go long, and it was very accurate. He could play it short to his centre-halves, and it was very accurate. He had many strings to his passing bows. And of course, he's not going to be Edison. Nobody in football is Edison. But in terms of good, solid, assured performance with the ball at your feet, I think Donnarumma was very, very impressive. And that's me not even talking about his shot stopping, which I think was otherworldly. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, I've experienced Gianluigi Donnarumma just affect everything that went his way from an Arsenal perspective in the Champions League last season. For me, he single-handedly won PSG the Champions League through those performances across those two legs. The saves he was pulling off was a joke. I could not believe my eyes with some of the way he was saving some shots, some of the ways that he was being so dominant in the box. It was so annoying. And against Manchester United, the Embuemo shot, really, really good stuff. Other situations, balls into the box, punching it away with authority. In terms of dominating his area, dominating his goal in terms of making saves and punching and being really strong and aggressive, he was so good. And this is a guy who, you know, I know we can always talk about City maybe going on to win the league. I think there's still a lot for City to work on. But in terms of a Champions League goalkeeper, there's no one better than Gianluigi Donnarumma. Maybe Courtois, maybe Alisson in terms of those guys making the saves at the right moments. I don't think anyone is better than Donnarumma in that instance. There were some really good saves in there. People were questioning him. Why is he starting? I think it was justified. Emotionally, he knows how to adjust to those sort of games. I wasn't worried at all in terms of him coming into a derby and how he would find it. I think he was pretty strong, which is always a positive sign going forward. I think as well, I want to talk about the performances of HAALAND, the performances in there of Phil Foden as well. Those guys are just phenomenal. I mean, people question Foden starting as well. I know I said Manchester City fans were happy. People were thinking Foden, he's not been up to speed, throwing him in. All of these things, but Foden's a phenomenal player. I think he's the second highest scorer in derby games. For someone like him, who's only, 25 years of age, to already be on those lists is an incredible achievement. And I feel as though he was ghosting into the box. He was showing his ability on the ball, keeping the ball close to his body, you know, in terms of trying the extravagant passes over the top to Doku on the left-hand side. He was trying stuff. He was being aggressive. He wasn't just sitting in his shell and you think, Phil, No, he wanted to express himself. He wanted to try the difficult things. And when a player is doing that, it can only mean positive things for Manchester City. If Foden can get anywhere near the form he had 2 or 3 seasons ago, I think it was 2 seasons ago, sorry, then City are on to a winner, because Foden in full flow, Foden when he's confident, Foden when he's scoring is a scary, scary sight. But of course, Erling Haaland was a joke today. A joke. Every single ball in behind, he was there, harassing the defense. He could have maybe got himself another goal, the one that he missed from only 1 yard out. It can happen, but the disrespect on Haaland needs to stop. He is, for me, the best centre forward in the division. You can talk about your Isaks and your Voltemadas or whoever it is, your Harry Kanes. I think Haaland has so many strings to his bow as a centre forward, and he just makes him so impressive. Whenever he's 1v1, whenever he ever has any sort of chance, I'm putting my money on him scoring. It's as simple as that. I have no doubt in my mind that Erling Haaland is scoring. That's my feeling. Whenever I see him in full flow, I see him playing the way that he plays in terms of being relentless, it's good. And it wasn't just in the box in terms of scoring, which he was good. There was some lovely stuff he was doing defending the box as well. That near post area, any ball into the box, he was dealing with it very, very well. And one of the things that you want to be seeing from your centre forward is they're given that job to mark that front post area. So the amount of times he was heading the ball out, running back, pressing as well out of possession, really, really good. And Haaland in full flight, Haaland full confidence is a scary, scary Haaland. But also shout out to Jeremy Doku, I thought was very good. 2 assists. If he can get back to his best in terms of consistency, City have a phenomenal player there. He was really, really confident, dribbling, creating that Foden goal as well was so, so good, by the way. That little sort of fake he does and then goes the other side. It's so effective and a great ball into the box. Then there's perfectly timed through ball into Haaland as well. Him, Foden and Haaland really linked up well. And that's what Manchester City need. I think they need a bit of continuity in terms of you look at a guy or you look at a position and be like, he's my definite starter. I think with Doku, Foden and Haaland, as long as they're fit, you look at those positions and you're like, those guys have got to start. I feel as though, Reinders had a couple of chances. I think he wasn't at his best. But look, that's a positive sign. Somebody that's not at their best is still able to impact the game really, really nicely in terms of, getting into forward areas. He can have other players step up for him. That's a sign of a good team. If one player isn't performing, another steps up. I think Kusanov at the back was very, very good. Diaz as well, defending the box really strong up against Sesko as well. Defensively, getting that clean sheet is huge for Manchester City. I think they need to rack up a lot more clean sheets. They need to be showing that they can be a good going forward, but really strong and look like not conceding at the back. I do think there was a lot of gaps they conceded in terms of the wide areas, and if Manchester United were a bit more clinical, there was opportunities. I do think, as I said, with the midfield, there's a lot of gaps. They lack the athleticism in there, and it's just a sort of thing where Man United have no good midfield. I do worry for them up against my team, Arsenal. The athleticism, if we run through you guys in terms of the centre of the pitch, could be quite dangerous. But that's a brilliant win for you, Manchester City fans. But that's it for now, and on to next time. Peace.